And action. Hi, this is Laurie.
This is Peter.
And it's hot as hell because it's August and summer.
Yeah.
And we're in this closed off garage.
Which
and
is
it's loud because I have to have a fan running. Sorry, it's just too hot. Colin's Cousins movie reactions and reviews. Oh, well, we don't do many reactions. We do mostly reviews. But anyway, we're going to do a little number here. Why is that thing up? Devil Wears Prada.
Devil Wears Prada.
One
and two.
1 and 2. So Devil Wears Prada 2 sequel came out a few months ago. It was 20 years in the making, or it took, they decided 20 years later to follow up these characters. And the reason we're doing both is because you never saw Devil Wears Prada 1.
I never saw it.
You never watched it before. And I have to say, I had never watched it. I never saw it in the theaters, but it's one of those movies that's always on cable and you're flipping channels and you're like, you know what, let me just check this out. And it's why, holy shit, that's a great movie.
It really is.
It's a really great movie, and Meryl Streep is amazing in it.
I would never
plays
watch
the
it,
villain, but
I thought it was a chick movie.
You thought it was a chick movie.
Yeah.
And it is in a way, but not in the cliched romantic comedy kind of way that you would think. It's very much about women, careers in power, and the things that the tough things you face.
And really, I really like the one actor. He's an actor that I've really liked, and I never knew his real name.
Oh, okay.
But as it turns out,
he's in a lot of stuff, and he's always great. He's one of those actors.
Yeah, and as it turns out, he's a gangster.
He's a gangster.
Yeah.
And what?
Stanley Two Cheeks.
Stanley Two Cheeks. Stanley Two Cheeks. Like he's some kind of Batman villain or something. Oh, Jesus. Stanley Two Cheeks. Good grief. But no, Stanley Tucci is in this. I forget that you got the name of the character. I always blank on characters. Niles? Nile. Okay. It's been a while since we've watched. So anyway, Devil Wears Prada. Do you want to talk about number 1 or 2, or just both of them together?
I would definitely like to talk about both together.
Okay.
But when I first saw it, I really liked 2.
You really like number 2?
Yeah, I like number 2.
Did you see number 2 first or number 1?
No, I saw number 1
You did watch 1 first.
But 1 was, to me, a better movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that, but that's not any discredit to number 2, because number 2 is it's a good sequel.
Yes.
It is a very well thought out continuation of the story and the characters where they would be 20 years from the original movie.
Yeah, but I didn't think it would work, and it worked perfect.
It works great, and but it's not as good as the first movie, but it's still a good movie. So the thing you want to like, number 1, fell in love with when I finally watched it on cable. Of course, Meryl Streep, that character, and it does one of those things that few movies, like the best movies, do. You have the villain, but the villain is very humanized. You understand where that person is coming from. Yeah.
At first, when I heard, I was thinking, oh yeah, she's gonna be this.
Right.
And she wasn't.
Typical scenery chewing, loud, praised woman, but one of the great why Meryl Streep is brilliant. She's very cool, calm, but just icy and cutting.
Yeah.
And just calculated and vicious in a very cool, calm.
She's icy and
reserved manner.
And you could feel it, except one thing.
What?
She doesn't with no razor blades.
Well, she doesn't need razor blades, She can cut people with a look. That's shit fucking acting. Excuse my language, but that's such a great role. Anne Hathaway is very good in that role. And one of the things that I really like about the first movie is something that, because I have friends like this. They're very smart. They're very like helpful. They're very bookish kind of people who, they kind of look at the world. Why isn't the world smarter or more,
Yeah,
want to be smarter? But at the same time, that can be a very arrogant kind of
yeah. But
approach to. There's an
she,
arrogance to that, and what I
yes,
like about this movie with Anne Hathaway's character, she looked down on working in the fashion industry in a fashion magazine. It wasn't real journalism to her.
right.
These people that like clothes. I mean, he does that to all of us who like, oh, fashion is not that big a deal. But
Yes, because as I saw this movie,
mhm,
I was like, oh, fashion isn't a big deal.
mhm. But that's
But it
the
really is.
I mean, it is. Maybe it's not a big deal to you, but
Yeah,
to the people who created their talent, their commitment, just everything that they give, and how it does kind of trickle down to other
it really
things.
does. Yes,
Yeah, yeah. This movie was really great at teaching you how to respect that. So, and
it
also like
was.
I like that it took the bookish character that's really the intellectual bookish nerd kind of nerdy character, and it also kind of knocks her down a few as well. I mean, you're rooting for her and you want her to win, but it doesn't play up to the typical stereotypes
Well, that's
that
just
felt.
it. I thought it knocked her down a peg or two,
Yeah, and
as she never fell a peg or two.
I mean, she stands in for the audience as those of us who like, oh, I don't respect the fashion industry. They're a bunch of like, stuck up, egotistical about this
Right,
thing that just doesn't really mean
right.
anything significant
With
or,
no reason to be
but
egotistical,
mhm,
yet she played it so well.
who did?
Meryl Streep.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, she really illustrated like for a woman to be in a position of power like that, kind of like the
Mhm,
ruthlessness
mhm.
and that a lot of them have had to. Yeah, that's one way to do it. That's kind of like been probably a main way to do it for many people.
Yes,
And so, but yeah, it's great. We have to also we brought up Stanley Tucci, who was great
yes,
in this movie. Emily Blunt as Emily, who's the
yes,
kind of office rival for Anne Hathaway's character. Yeah, and she's hilarious and great in this film and in the
yes.
original
She was
film.
really good.
Yeah, she's funny. She kind of like really, she's that character that really sells you,
Yes, and
on
the writers,
kind of.
they they took this
Mhm.
group and mixed them well.
Right. It's great chemistry, great casting. They took a book that was written by a person who did work for actually Anne Wintour of Vogue and wrote this kind of scathing, I mean, she did have a horrible experience as her assistant, but the writers actually took it and like made it a more sympathetic character like for the Meryl Streep and like really I like that they really explored what is it to be somebody in a woman
Right.
in a power position like that, that yeah, and what does it take for her to stay on top and I always go back to the movie Whiplash where you have these really people undesirable trades
Mhm.
teachers is like but what does it take to be the very best at something
Yes,
and do you
yes,
have to kind of sell some of your humanity to do that? And that question
yes.
these movies kind of place. So let's talk about the sequel. We talk about the first one is great. It's
Mhm.
one of those if you did never caught it and you're a guy and don't think it's just as a movie for chicks. No, watch it.
Yeah, guys, you should watch it.
Yeah, it's just a great movie.
It
And,
really
and it's
is.
great characterizations and writing. So taking on Devil Wears Prada 2, it's 20 years later.
Mhm.
I really loved how this new movie examines where would these characters be 20 years later, where would these industries be 20 years later,
Right.
and really put them in this position.
Yeah, and I thought Meryl Streep's character should have aged more, but she was perfect.
No. Have you seen Emily Tower? They would have been more. Now, these are the people in the beauty industry. She's gonna have people to keep her. Yeah, they're gonna embalm you, like embalming you while you're alive, basically, embalming your look. But I thought it was really great. They explored, like, by then Anne Hathaway's character was an award-winning journalist, but getting laid off from her magazine, which is, print media, print journalism is a dying form, very struggling form, as well as, hi, Dad, can you close the door, please? We're doing a review.
Huh?
We're doing a review. You gonna join us?
You don't mind?
No, why don't you come sit down in the seat over here? Okay?
You want me to go open?
No, well, I want it closed, okay? Okay, that's Dad. Say hi, Dad.
Not too hot in here.
Well, it's not. We got the doors. It is a little hot. Okay. So,
I just pulled
did we? Yeah. Okay, Dad. That's great. Did you like? We're talking about Devil Wears Prada. Remember the movie The Devil Wears Prada?
Oh, okay.
Did you like that movie?
Did I do what?
Did you like that movie?
It was a little hard to understand.
Oh, you watched it twice. You seem to really enjoy the first one.
Huh?
You seem to really enjoy the first one.
I thought I did, but I think I forgot about it.
Okay, that's all right. Well, you are going to be 94 in a few weeks, so and that's Dad Colin's cousin, who's in and father's reviews. But yeah, number 2, I thought it was really great where the story, how it played out, and where they decided to explore these characters 20 years on.
I really love the way they did that
You thought
because
it was good?
I really like the
Dad.
way some of the characters change, but they didn't change
I
the
think I
character
didn't
that they were.
understand.
Yeah, they didn't change their essence, and so
Yes.
so the essence of who they were was still there, but like it's 20 years on.
Yes.
And you could see there was some growth there, as anybody would grow. Be a little different 20 years on, but not so. So yeah, but you didn't lose who they were. But I will say there were a couple performances that I felt were kind of off. And it's not fair to say
Really?
this, like the people, and it's going to be surprising who I'm going to call out on this.
Really?
For how I felt like they were kind of phoning it in. I thought Meryl Streep for like the first half of the movie didn't feel the same. It's kind
I
of like
know
she took,
what you
this
mean.
character is so popular and was so successful, but she didn't feel like she tapped into that kind of like
Yes,
the way she did the
until-
first time, until kind of like towards the latter half of the movie. And that's not fair to say, because they don't film movies they rarely
Yes.
film movies in sequence. So
Yeah.
um
But
so I don't know if I just felt it that way, if it's my imagination or what.
No, I felt the same way,
Mhm.
but I felt also, like you said, they don't film the movies.
They don't usually, it's very
In
rare
sequence?
they film it in sequence.
But I can almost see her chugging
right.
and got going.
Yeah, trying to get back into that character and what people loved about it. It seems like, it didn't come as natural for her, which is really shocking. But then that was such a great performance the first time around. And you're trying to repeat that all over again. It's like, you got to be fair. I will say, Emily Blunt was also another one. It took me a little while to see them in, but I thought Anne Hathaway and Stanley Tucci kind of locked back into those characters pretty spot on.
That's weird. But yeah, but you know what? In thinking about that, I think it was almost made that way on purpose.
You think so?
Because they needed to, especially when you see the ending,
Okay.
you see where they needed to get.
Okay. I don't know. I'd probably have to rewatch that to figure out if that's the case, which I wouldn't mind watching this. It's not as good as the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I think the final payoff for the characters
Oh yeah.
is not as significant as it was in the first. It's just the storyline. It's like where it's going.
I actually thought it was.
Okay.
So,
For me, it wasn't. It's called like the stakes weren't as high. So to
I
me,
think they were.
okay. Well, for me, they didn't feel that way,
Yeah.
and which is for me, which is why I don't feel is on par with the first one. But I like Anne Hathaway and Stanley Tucci are so committed to these characters and the story that it's just a joy to watch. And as I stated, I really liked where they explored where these people went. It makes total sense. Okay, yeah,
Yes.
this character would be doing this 20 years later. It makes sense for this character to be doing that. I'm not surprised this character is still in the same position 20 years later. And that's kind
That
of
was
one of the
surprising.
rewarding, but then that's part of the reward of the final act and where, yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
'cause-
it is a very satisfying ending in
Oh,
terms of
I really
payoff. It's just not as big a
enjoyed-
payoff, I think.
that Niall
Hmm.
got his moment.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Is him getting his moment finally.
Yeah.
And it's like I can buy him sticking by
Yes.
Meryl Streep, so I can't think of the character's name because I'm terrible with names. But sticking by that character
Yeah.
for that long, and I mean, because that's
And I liked the way Anne Hathaway was cracking that whip,
mm-hmm,
although it was a small whip.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So she
Okay.
didn't leave any marks.
Now, I would like they had Simone Ashley, who's on the screen, who was in the show Bridgerton, great in the show Bridgerton. It was great to see her in this movie, but the role wasn't really much. I was
Right.
like, oh, that's great. They're bringing her in, but it's just kind of like a little bit of window dressing, really. They don't do much with her character. I mean, but it's about the four characters that we've been revisiting all these years later. So definitely a worthy sequel.
It really was.
Yeah. Like I said, not as good but very much satisfying. And
But see,
I'd be happy
1
to watch it
and
again.
2.
see 1 and 2. See them back to back. Why not?
Yeah,
We're gonna have a Devils Wears Prada marathon.
we should.
We should. We have a double feature night. Are we gonna dress up?
No.
We're not gonna dress up. All right. Well, any final thoughts on Devil Wears Prada and Devil Wears Prada 2?
I could do Iron Man.
You could do an Iron Man. What do you mean? What?
Because I think he could make a cameo.
Iron Man and why? How? I don't get it.
I don't know. You got
Okay.
Meryl Streep in it.
Meryl Streep? What's Robert Downey Jr. got to do with anything? With Meryl Streep? She would have made a great Marvel villain. She would have.
She actually would.
She would be a great Marvel villain. Yeah, let's call it up. Let's do a crossover on. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm tired of superhero films
She
right now.
can be there with Doomsday.
With Doomsday. All right. Well, we're gonna check out We Out. That's Devil Wears Prada 1 and 2. They're available both streaming, I think, probably on Disney Plus or Hulu. Check them out and let us know what you think in the comments. We out.
We out.
We out like last year's fashions or fashions for 20 years ago or our fashion sense just in general. Bye, y'all.